Appreciate it. Thank you. Mayor, good morning. All right, how are you? Good to see you.
And then she was in and out. Yeah, she never stopped.
I think so. Yeah, he's been here for a while now.
Yeah, half year.
Yeah.
So we met. It doesn't look like a while.
Sorry. No, I just want to know.
So as soon as this is short agendas.
I remember
Good morning. How are you?
Hey, Doc, can I use this outlet?
Please no, because that's all connected to that stuff. Yeah.
Hey.
So anytime, I was just getting really confused.
Yeah, they didn't give me a time frame, so
Hey, how are you?
Good morning. We had, I want to thank Nick for expediting getting me here this morning. We have been pressing to have larger numbers of people ride paratransit, and we now have that happening. That also means that we need to get some more drivers in there as well. Anyway, thank you, Nick, for getting me in here. I'm calling order, and we're asking our great secretary to the board to read the roll.
All right. Mayor Biassiata, Mr. Joyce,
Here.
Mayor Kumar, President Lucas, Ms. McCall. Here. Ms. Moss.
Here.
Ms. Peo. Here. Mayor Weiss.
Here.
And Ms. Welch.
Here.
We have 9 board members present.
Would you be kind enough to read the certification?
Mr. President, I first advise that notice of this meeting has been posted more than 24 hours in advance of the meeting, that the usual notification has been given the news media and other interested persons, and that all requirements of the Ohio Revised Code and rules and bylaws of this board regarding notice of meeting have been complied with.
Thank you very much. We will now need a motion for the approval of the September 20th, 2022 board meeting. We have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second, Valerie.
Any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
And any opposed, no. Thank you very much. Now time for public comments. We're asking you for 2 minutes on agenda items. Anyone here for public
Good morning,
comment?
everybody.
Good morning.
Reverend Pinckney, you all, for those who don't know me. Congratulations, I want to congratulate too from the community, those who have retired in this season. And for items B, C, and D, for those who are watching and that are paying attention, would you please elaborate a little bit more? In terms, I'm a stickler on language. The reduction of workforce for C, item number C, 2022-96, and for item 2022-97, the liability company for what is going to be done with the property at West Boulevard and Coaldale Rapids, for those who are not here today that would like more information. And I just ironically was having a conversation with Mary today, Delgado, because some of the rail operators are concerned that we need new rails, especially on the light rail system. And she said that that is in the making. And I see that you have motor coach filters and motor coach accessories that are being addressed. And this operator also was saying that even in the process of getting new rails, please see to that the RCD system is updated and the system overhaul is updated. And I don't see anything on the agenda still to fix up and update that antedated East 79th Street station. And I don't see anything on this agenda to give people who do not have motorized wheelchairs accommodations on East 93rd and East 116th Street. And I will be back for non-agenda items. Thank you very much, and I hope everybody's doing well this morning.
All right, anybody else here in the audience? Yes, sir.
Good morning, ladies and agenda. Agenda items. That's okay. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Anyone else here for public agenda? We have anybody on the phone?
Anybody on the phone in the back?
We have one caller on the line.
All right, there's one caller.
Caller extension 0387, you're on the air. Caller, please go ahead.
I have nothing for current agenda items. You can move forward.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Any other public comments? All right, we'll move to the next agenda item. I announce at the beginning, we do have an announcement that we have a event this evening at the Lander Haven where one of our board members will be honored. And we want to congratulate Lutz for this honor, and we'll be there to see you get it. So we just came from Seattle where we watched Valerie get an award. Now we're back and see you get an award. So that's wonderful. Proud of our board members. All right, board governors, give them a hand. All right, board governors committee report. Is there anyone is there a report from there? If not, we'll move to the operations, planning, and interruption committee report from our great chairman, Ms. Lauren Welch. Good morning, Chairperson Welch.
Good morning. I have nothing to report.
After all of that introduction, you know. All right. Anybody
I appreciate it, Reverend Lucas.
Anybody in this group have a report? All right, if not, for the fields, introduction of new employees and announcement of promotion.
Reverend, one item, just that we have our quarterly internal audit meeting coming up on November 3rd at 2:30 p.m.
All right, good morning, Mr. President, Ms. Birdsong-Terry, members of the board. It's my pleasure to announce to you our new hires and promotions for October. We'll start with our new hires. We have operators Monique Burgess, Mark Cox, Letitia Ford, Kayla Hampton, Wilbert Patterson, Cerezo Sanders, Lanisha Underwood, Jatonia Wells, Latavia Williams, line maintainer James Conroy, crisis intervention specialist Janine Deskin, janitors Jason Gardner, DeAndre Hodges, Kim James, and engineering co-op Trinity Robinson. For our promotions, we have Anna Lavix, Senior Counsel of Contracts and Real Estate, as well as Alexander Teratio, Signal Technician. Please join me in congratulating these new hires and promotions. All right.
All right, thank you very much. Moving right along to our resolutions. So we need to approve this resolution 2022-84.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I believe that's 2022-94.
Right.
Expressing congratulations to the employees of the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority who retired during the third quarter of 2022.
All right, we have a motion, please. Any discussion?
Second, Valerie.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Ms. Birdsong.
Okay. Oh, Mr. President, we're going to announce these third quarter retirees
Right,
that we.
that's all right.
Okay.
I didn't realize this. Quite a bit.
You sure? Okay. Yeah, Mr. President, Ms. Birdsong-Terry, members of the board, good morning again. These are the third quarter retirees. Michael Pulio, Facilities Manager. Stefan Griffin, Maintenance Technician. Christina Cook, Material Handler. Robert Prince, Facilities Manager. Raul Rashad, Operator. And Daryl Prim, Operator. Please join me in congratulating these third quarter retirees.
Okay, authorizing contract number 2022-094 with Vehicle Maintenance Program for the furnishing of motor coach filters as specified and as required for a period of 2 years in an amount not to exceed $134,900, General Fund, Fleet Management Department budget.
Move approval, Valerie. Aye.
Removing section 642.10, reduction in workforce, 642.11, workforce accommodation, 642.12, transitional alternative work, and 642.13, pre-termination meeting from the codified rules and regulations of the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority as duplicates of the personnel policies.
Move
Motion to
approval.
adopt.
Second.
I would only bring the discussion is because of someone in the audience mentioned about the reduction in workforce. This is not about reduction in workforce. This is updating our policy manuals, taking it from the, what am I saying? The
Code.
rules and regulations and putting it into the personnel book. Aye.
Aye.
All right, authorizing the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority to enter into an option agreement with Flaherty and Collins Development, LLC, an Indiana limited liability company for the proposed sale of property adjacent to the West Boulevard Cadell Rapid Transit Station, known as Cuyahoga County Permanent Parcel Number 001-32-012 on Detroit Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio. I'm hearing from our general counsel that we need a roll call for this. So I think we need a motion and a second, and then we'll do a roll call. Right?
So moved, Valerie, so moved.
Okay. Mayor Biassiata,
Yes.
Mr. Joyce,
Abstain.
Mayor Kumar,
Yes.
President Lucas, Ms. McCall,
Yes.
Ms. Moss,
Yes.
Ms. Peo,
Yes.
Mayor Weiss,
Yes.
and Ms. Welch.
Yes.
Okay, we have 8 ayes and 1 abstention from Mr. Joyce.
Doing quite well, thank you, Reverend Lucas. Good morning. How are you? Well, good. Good to hear that. Good morning, Mr. President Lucas, members of the board. My name is Raj Gautam, the Deputy General Manager of Finance and the Secretary Treasurer. Included in your board package each month, we have detailed reports, as has been our protocol. I will be presenting a highlight, a kind of an overview of not only the general economic conditions, but also look at the key drivers of the operating revenues. We'll start off with reviewing the economic conditions and the
I'm
unemployment.
sorry, whose ever phone that is, can you please cut it off?
Thank you. All right, general economic conditions, reviewing the unemployment rates, comparing the U.S. rates to Ohio as well as Cuyahoga County. The U.S. unemployment rate for August was 3.7%, up from 3.5% in July. Ohio's unemployment rate increased slightly to 4%, which was at 3.9% in July. The county unemployment rate is not seasonally adjusted, which causes the increase in the unemployment rate as reported. The county estimated unemployment rate is 5% in August, and once again, that is a seasonally unadjusted number. Review of the 5 largest metropolitan statistical areas in Ohio. Over the past 3 years, the height of the labor force was in February 2020. After the pandemic, we are now back to pre-COVID unemployment rates For August, the unemployment rates were for Cleveland, MSA, 5.2%, which is down from 5.4% the month before. Cincinnati, 3.5%, rose from 3.4%. Columbus, 3.4%, rising from 3.3%. Dayton, 3.9%, and that's an increase from the 3.8% the month before. And Toledo at 4%, also showing an increase from 3.9% from the previous month. Ridership continues to show gains. September ridership was 16.6% higher when compared to September 2021 levels. On a year-to-date basis, ridership is 18.6% above 2021 levels. Related to the ridership numbers, and also as a result of certain timing differences in how we collect monies, et cetera, and when they get deposited, passenger fares are showing an increase of 32.5% when compared to September 2021, which is 28% higher than the budgeted amount. On a year-to-date basis, passenger fares are 19.29% higher than the same period in 2021. Sales tax, representing the largest source of unrestricted revenue for the general fund, remains fairly strong. September 2022 receipts, based on the July 2022 activity with the 3-month lag that I often talk about, those collections were 4.7% higher when compared to October 2021. It's 2.7% higher than budget. And on a year-to-date basis, receipts are 6.6% higher than 2021 levels. The sales tax base is made up of 23 categories. 17 of those 23 categories were positive in October. Motor vehicles and watercraft still are trending lower at 0.2%. Online sales were 17% higher when compared to October 2021. And regular and statewide sales are 4.1% higher. And with that, I'll entertain any questions that you may have.
All right, questions to the Secretary of Treasury? Any questions? Questions? I don't see any questions.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you very, very much.
All right, you're most welcome.
All right, hearing now, we have heard from the Secretary of Treasury. We hear from the General Manager.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. I will, thank you, Reverend Pinckney. I will be going through our pretty brief update from the Executive's office and really kind of give you a bird's eye view of some of the activities and audits that have been going on within the past 30 days. We have undergone a recent audit for Federal Transit Authority or Administration, drug and alcohol. This audit is, if it rings a bell, it's because our internal assessment occurred maybe within the last 2 months or so for the same content. So it just happens to be good timing that we've gotten a double whammy, so to speak, in the same area for audit, first internal and then now external through the FTA. The audit took place October 3rd through 5th here at main office, and it really was an overall review of our policies and procedures, and also our last audit was conducted quite a while ago in 2014. So we are in receipt of initial response from the FTA, which was positive. We had some areas to be able to clean up some of the procedures from a tertiary level, and we are reviewing those policies and making those edits. They are due back to the FTA by the beginning of the year of 2023. So we expect to be able to return those probably right before the holiday. We, again, have a pretty solid relationship with the FTA, had a very robust conversation with their auditors. Our auditors were involved in that conversation, as well as labor management, human resources, and others. And overall, they were pretty satisfied with our policy and procedures. Had a couple of items for cleanup, and we'll get back to them with that feedback so we can close that document out by January 3rd of 2023. We also were audited on an annual basis. However, with this one, we did receive an award from the Ohio Auditor of State. We actually provided them with an opportunity, and they were very happy to come see us and actually provided us with the award here in this room. to our Director of Accounting and Financial Management, John Taher. And also, we want to be able to give a special shout out to Raj and his financial team there. We had a clean audit opinion, which is really the highest you can get from that regard. No material weaknesses, no significant deficiencies, and we were noted for an excellence in financial reporting. This was particularly a nice moment because the actual Auditor of State provided us with the report himself and came in person. And Mr. Faber definitely shared a few moments, chatted with the team for about 30 minutes, and traveled all the way to our offices to provide us that documentation. So we appreciate the Ohio Auditor of State for that confidence in us. And if I recall correctly, he stated that we had a perfect report, which is very unusual in this business. Thank you. So great job, team. Also, on a high note, we provided a bus donation to Tri-C. If you remember, we've talked about Tri-C and our collaboration for workforce development with them over the last few months and years, really. Tri-C is an agency that provides education through the community corporate college structure here in Cleveland. We really are excited to be able to make our relationship more robust with them, and we recently donated 2 MCI commuter coaches. As you see in the photo here, their new president, Dr. Michael Baston, who is to my right there, if you're looking at the screen. He is fresh on the job. I believe he's been here in Cleveland about a month, and he is definitely hitting the ground running. So he came out along with, you'll see a slew of instructors and trainers from our side, managers in training, and then also, I believe that's George Fields in the back there, and Doc Caver, you'll see smiling as we give over the keys to our commuter coaches that have reached the state of useful life for us, but that journey continues for those 2 buses, and those vehicles really continue to help students get their CDL or their commercial driver's license while they're at Tri-C. So it benefits both the workforce at large and, of course, RTA as well. We look forward to continuing that partnership, and I would not be surprised if we get a couple questions about how we donate buses to other agencies once they get to the end of their useful life. It's a good deed that keeps on giving. Also wanted to be able to give an update on where we've been. We've been supportive in a lot of different areas within the community within the last 30 days, one being the United Way annual community meeting and lunch. As we mentioned before, the United Way has a new president and CEO, Sharon Sobel Jordan. She actually was a facilitator at our last board retreat. So by happenstance, that was a great kind of nod to the collaboration there, unknowingly that she would be in this position. And then also the NOACA, or Northeast Ohio Area Wide Coordinating Agency. That's a mouthful. They did have their annual event down at the Hilton, and we were in attendance for that event as well. NOACA has continued to be a strong supporter of public transit and RTA projects through Greater Cleveland, so we appreciate them under the leadership of Grace Galucci. The 2022 OPTA Conference, we were there as well. This was, again, October 3rd through 5th in Columbus, Ohio. We had a total of 8 employees and staff members attending, 5 who actually were presenters. So we definitely attended as well as facilitated some of the educational sessions, which is always great. We want to be able to attend these events, but we want to be part of the agenda when we can and be a force and a leadership kind of engine for transportation innovation in Ohio. And just a quick shout out, Sean Becker from procurement, Christy Cox from marketing, Mary Beth Feek from planning, George Fields from HR, and Natoya Walker-Minor from external affairs did a great job being able to discuss the things that we have going on here in Greater Cleveland and also gaining new insights into what's going on around the region. And then, of course, we mentioned by our illustrious chair, the APTA Transform Conference that was held October 9th through 12th in Seattle, Washington. We had 5 board members present, as well as myself and 2 additional staffers. We definitely appreciate the ability to sit on the national stage and be recognized for our efforts here in Ohio. And we had 2 industry leaders that were honored for their lifetime achievement, one being board member Valerie J. McCall, and then Joseph Calabrese, the previous general manager of RTA. So we applaud them for their efforts, and also wanted to give you a little bit of a sneak preview so you feel like you were there. I believe we have their videos here to play for you today.
Valerie J. McCall is a proud daughter of Cleveland. Her experiences riding public transportation as an adolescent led to her becoming an advocate for public transit riders and coalitions. Since 2006, she has been a dedicated member of the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority and has had a distinguished tenure as a transit board member. As past APTA chair, she guided the organization as it advanced its policies on member consensus, collaboration, and diversity, and has been an outspoken champion for transit board member involvement. While APTA chair, McCall led Cleveland's efforts to bring more than 50,000 visitors to the city for the Republican National Convention, including collaborating with APTA, the U.S. Conference of Mayors, and the National League of Cities to host an event spotlighting the importance of public transportation to communities throughout the country. Valerie's love of Cleveland and her passion for public transportation are hallmarks of her distinguished career.
All right. We've got Teresa as our Vanna with, with the awards that were given out. If you want to take a sneak preview, we are your museum today, so please feel free. There you go. And I believe we've got one more for you.
After earning his MBA, Joe Calabrese's career began at Centro in 1975. In '86, identifying an industry need, Joe co-founded MetroVision, a startup providing a real-time customer information platform for large transit agencies. Joe returned to Centro in '93 as executive director and president. In 2000, Joe took over the helm of the Greater Cleveland RTA, where his Healthline BRT was the first non-rail project to receive FTA New Starts funding. Joe was also the first to champion the sale of naming rights sponsorships for public transit assets. And his Ride Happy or Ride Free customer service guarantee earned RTA the Lexus Customer Service Award. Joe adopted sophisticated management practices at RTA, such as Transit Stat and both ISO and Malcolm Baldrige certifications. As an effective spokesperson, Joe testified numerous times before Congress and was president of both the New York State and Ohio Public Transit Associations. He has been heavily involved with APTA as a board member and chair for numerous committees, including MRDG and BRT Committee, which he helped establish. Joe has been highly recognized by APTA, the FTA, Governing Magazine, Metro Magazine, Council of Economic Inclusion, and many others. Joe continues to positively influence the transit industry through his work with AECOM, and would like to thank the many dedicated employees that he has had the honor to work with throughout his career.
So we appreciate and we want to say thank you and honor both of the recipients. At this time, I would ask Valerie if you have any comments as one of the award winners. Please go ahead.
Well, thank you very much. It is an honor to be recognized as one of the outstanding transit board members in the nation. As you all know, APTA is our association for public transportation, and to have two honorees from GCRTA in the same year is not a minimal recognition, and we should be proud to know that two outstanding people. Joe was recognized as a lifetime achievement, and so that just shows the caliber of people that we have here in Cleveland. I always say this, RTA is highly recognized nationally and internationally as a leader in the transit field, and so I don't want that to go minimized. It is very important, and it really is an honor to have this esteemed honor, and it was great to be surrounded by so many of our my board colleagues and staff colleagues at that event, so thank you very much.
Certainly, I had the privilege and the honor of being present to watch that award presented to our board member, and on behalf of this board, we say an extra congratulations to you, Valerie. So very proud of you. those of you who have been to national meeting, you don't go too many steps before someone says, "Where's Valerie? Where's Valerie?" She is certainly well known and respected throughout the country. Glad that she's one of us. I'm going to have my report the next meeting because of a certain issue that I will bring up later on. All right. Any old business? Any new business? If not, public comments.
Mr. Chair, for new business, we have the proposed schedule for next year listed under new business.
All right.
And Mr. Chair, I have a comment on the new business for the proposed schedule for next year. If you don't mind, I think after March 21st, this board needs to meet every single day. I think you should meet 24 hours a day, starting on March 22nd. That's my recommendation. I will not be here, therefore you should start meeting every day after March 21st.
Well, if we're going to do that, it should be for the whole year.
All right. Are there any other comments?
I object.
Any other comments to you really, congratulate Teresa, because it takes a lot of time pulling it all together, finding good dates for everybody. We all are very busy people, and congratulations, Teresa, for putting this together. I'm sure the board says the same with what I'm saying now. All right. Public comments.
Did the board want to take a month to review the dates, or, okay, until next month? Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that next one. All right.
All right, there's some good news going on up in this house. Good morning again, everybody. I was telling Chief before the meeting, I am concerned about the safety and security of the booth workers in Tower City. One of them had a discussion with me today. But I also called the mayor's office because not only is she a woman, but she's a lady, and she has to be at work at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I would like to see that addressed, please. And in the parking, she's paying $200 to park downtown in Tower City, and Tower City is separating themselves, saying that they're not part of RTA, so they're not going to be willing to negotiate any discounts for the people from RTA. And would you all please look into that? And she would have to park at Windermere and take a train down, but it's still 4 o'clock in the morning. And I ask that you all would please check on the booth workers in Tower City. I was at one of my book signings Saturday. My book, From Riches to Rags, The Cost of Reporting Abuse. And public transportation has been my boat and my safety arc. And I wanted to just say thank you. And I really, I fuss and I do my, I bring, not even fuss, I bring my concerns to you all, not just for myself, but for others. But I love our transportation system. I genuinely do. And I had a great appreciation for it yesterday. My son had an emergency yesterday, and he's in the hospital with almost all his bones broken. And RTA was available. I had a bus I could use to get to the, and I lost my children to circumstances where people violated my protection order, but they're still alive. And I thank RTA for being available to help me so I can go see about my son and all my children. And without getting anybody in trouble, I'm running for President of the United States for 2024 because I want to bridge the gap between church, community, and the courts. And I want our transportation system to be the conduit to help bridge that gap. I thank you all for being patient with me because I've been with you all for a long, long time, and I'm bringing some people aboard with me. Thank you.
Thank you. That's an outstanding hat you have on today. That's beautiful. I like women's hats. All right. Anybody else here with comment? Anybody else in the? All right.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is JT. My name is also John Taylor, but I also go by JT. And I've been known to have been preaching on the buses for quite some time now. And what I'd like to do is, as a preacher, I'd like to assist with spiritual development and connecting people to much needed thing, much needed spiritual development, much needed the word, because a lot of people don't know, they don't believe. And I'm one of the very few preachers that actually connect Bible prophecy to what happens in real life. And there's a lot of things that people need to know. There was a period from January all the way up until mid-June where the streets seemed to be quiet, where there seemed to be no one here. And then all of a sudden, in mid-June, late June, there was an explosion. Well, what happened was in January 3rd, I left and I went to Chicago, and I was kind of doing the same thing there. And I came across a whole lot of heavy opposition. And when I came back in mid-June. And 2 days later, all of the people started popping up. So we see how important it is that somebody really does find and believe that this is a matter, because people don't try to snuff out and get rid of something that don't exist, because it's something that's really needed. And the last time I was on the buses, I was preaching something very important, and it really exposed a lot of things. So I only got to preach it once, and then next thing I know, I heard something in the spirit, because I'm connected that way. I didn't know what happened until I got back on the bus, and when I preached again, and all of a sudden, a lot of people started speaking out. They started cussing, it's like I was causing a disturbance. And then the bus driver came to me and said, "You can't preach on the bus like that." So then I knew what happened, that some kind of call went in. I don't even know if it was legal or not, but I know about how tactics operate, about how people play as shield roles. Okay, well, that's fine. People play as shield roles, but the main thing is that I just want to help with line preaching. I don't want to know what my parameters are, because I'd like to help, because it's really going to help, like she said, connect court systems to church. Thank you for listening.
Sure,
And,
thank you.
Okay. I did want to mention my phone number is 216-450-8080 if anyone wanted to contact me.
Thank you, Reverend. All right, anybody else?
Hello, my name is Dante Taylor, and I am coming to Reverend Lucas and the board because I am doing a hat, glove, scarf coat drive, and we actually sent it to someone. We have the piece of paper here about the initiative. I do this every year solely on my own, solely with other people like Reverend Pamela Pinky Butts and other people. And this is my 10th year doing this, and I'm trying to see what can I do to bridge the gap to come and I'm trying to say, to work with GCRTA on this hat, glove, scarf, coat drive that I am doing, and I will be giving the stuff once I get who's going to help and everything. Then in the end of January, I will be giving the stuff out to the mass of the public. I want Reverend Lucas to read this letter out loud today so we can see if we can partner with GCRTA.
All right, I got a better idea. At the end of the meeting, Reverend Pinckney, come get this. At the end of the meeting, I'm asking Dr. Minor if he will meet with them and give us a report on what's going on. All right? Yeah.
We'll follow up. We appreciate that. So we'll follow up on that end. And then also, I believe we have Chief in the back who can follow up with the previous gentleman and talk about the buses. Okay.
Thank you very much. All right, anybody else? Yes, how are you doing?
Not dead yet.
Not dead. We cannot have public comments without you.
I know. The sound is already waiting for me to beep me. I really feel flattered. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It's really good that towards the end of the year, we can already see what we have done because we have seen the official accomplishment, rewards from other people's recognition of us. So that means I believe we are moving towards a very good positive direction. So that's a congratulations to all of us. So one thing I would like to mention, last week Friday, the Center for the Community Solutions had their celebration of human services. And I was so happy to see our doc, Walker Reiner there, and also Eric. Right now, he's not in the room. So it's really good right now, people start seeing public transit or public transit organization is part of our daily life into human services. That's the direction we should go. Thank for Doc and Eric, both attended the event. But there's one more thing. Of course, definitely we have a room to improve, just like I always have a room to grow taller vertically. We know right now it's a very good thing we will conduct surveys to receive public input quarterly. But the survey is designed by consultants based on administrative point of view. So here I would like to formally request the board, our CEO, to accept a presentation which is a survey about paratransit service completely from users' point of view. I really wish this will happen because this will definitely complement the internal data you have collected at least 2 to 3 quarters with administrative point of view. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. I believe Mr. Davidson, we met and you're working on an answer for that at our next meeting. Right, yeah. Well, we have an overload. We're very glad to have that. That's also meaning if you notice, we're not hiring of the new drivers and so forth. We have to put some more drivers on the road for paratransit to meet the demand. Well, I said it again.
Sorry, I'm back to supplement one particular point. The reason I make that request, that's because we do have right now a committee is about public input, public's view. And under this particular CAC, this particular committee, we have ADA subcommittees. And even the ADA subcommittee, all members had a very positive feedback towards this particular survey. So this is not something under our very capable Nick Davidson's, his department. It's really directly from public input. So this will be directly under our new doc, Ms. Walker Miner's department. So if we need to be referred to have this proceed, I wish we can talk to Doc because this is about public input. Thank you.
That's good. Okay. All right. Anything else?
Do we have anybody on the phone or anybody else in person?
Anybody on the line?
We do have one caller on the line.
Yeah, we're listening.
Okay, this is Eric Stewart. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, thank you.
All right, the improvement of ridership services for the regular buses should be part of your every meeting agenda. It's unfortunate this is part of the non-agenda. The number 15A that's been suggested to you repeatedly can be an hourly bus that starts at Pinecrest at its furthest eastern point. If it is an hourly bus starting at Pinecrest at its furthest eastern point, this would only put it approximately 600 to 800 meters east of where the regular 15 starts at Tri-C. The regular 15 runs in a 16-hour period Monday through Friday, 64 buses each way because it runs every 15 minutes, which comes up to 4 buses an hour. If you drop it down to every 20 minutes, 3 buses an hour in that time period, you would be able to have space for the 15A to come off Pinecrest and run the exact same route as that regular 15 from Tri-C East to either East 177th in Harvard or East 173rd in Harvard, whichever was agreed upon to be the turnoff period point. And in addition to that, this 15A bus would still cross Lee Road at either Glendale and Lee or Walden and Lee, which is only somewhere between 5 and 6 blocks to the north of where the regular 15 crosses Lee Road at Harvard and Lee. But it goes to the neighborhood where it can pick up people who are most likely to catch the bus, which it had been doing prior to its elimination. This bus would then go down either Walden or Glendale to 154th, turn north and go down Bartlett, where it would pick up more people inside the interior of the neighborhood and ultimately end up at 131st Street, which is where the 15 hits 131st Street in Harvard also, I should mention. And the 15 goes north to Corlett before it makes a turn. 2 blocks later, the 15A will be coming out on Bartlett and 131st and pick up the complimentary service for what should be the 48A and the regular 48 heading north. Now, what makes this bus much more complimentary than the regular 15 is the 15A will go through Shaker Square, and it will be a good transfer point for the rapid blue and green line at that point. Then it will go down Shaker Boulevard, which will give complimentary service to some people. There are people that can't get on that rapid because of mobility issues, but they'd be able to get on this bus, and they go down Shaker Boulevard to 116/Martin Luther King, where there'd be another transfer point, of course, for the blue and green line. Then turn north where the number 50 bus, which should maintain itself as the hourly bus, but starting at its furthest southern point at Marymount Hospital, complements service up to University Circle, then where it will also be a transfer point for the red line. This is just the 15A that I'm referencing.
In the back, I'm sorry, that's
go
2
down
minutes.
Peter.
In the back. Thank you.
All right. All right, thank you. All right. There was just the one comment? Is that correct?
In the back? Is that the only caller?
Yes, that was the only caller.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We thank our caller. The next regular board meeting is scheduled Tuesday, November the 15th, here in the boardroom. And you may come here, or we will be live streaming it for you. Is there any other business before us today? If not, I'll hear a motion for adjournment.
So moved, Valerie.
Aaron, second.
It's not debatable. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Thank you very much, board. Brother Fields, Brother Carl, need to see you both.
Thanks for using WebEx.